What's up, everybody? It's Big Brian here, SLCAudio, and we're at Salt City Drums today, and we're going to teach you guys a couple tricks. One of the things that I see is, as a studio engineer, is a lot of drummers come in and they're not sure how to tune their drums. So we want to give you guys a quick overview on how to do that, and so that your recordings come out top notch. Again, we're here at Salt City Drums, so let's go check out what he's got.
All right, so we're gonna tune a 6.5 by 14 Black Beauty for a medium-low range sort of pop rock application. We're gonna start with detuning the drum completely. I like to use two big keys. It helps keep the tension nice and even, and it goes twice as fast. Okay, so we get the drum head as if we just barely put the drum head on the drum, nothing going on. Quick, finger tight around the edge, and then from here, we can hear some pitch. Happening. So, a couple of turns there. I'm really just getting an idea of the tension rods grabbing the hoop. Not a lot of tension going on at this point because I want to bring the whole thing up evenly. Some of these I'm turning a little bit more than others. It's just kind of getting the feel of it. And then from here we can hit a little pitch. Okay. So it might be a little flubby to the naked ears, but the microphone's really gonna love that low tuning range. And that's gonna be good for just a really great pop, rock and roll drum sound, real versatile sounding drum. Let's check the bottom. I'm just gonna tighten up the bottom a little bit, nothing too crazy. I tend to crank the bottom heads pretty good, actually. Some cats they'll loosen these tension rods down a little bit to get a little fatter snare sound. But I think if you want a fatter snare sound, you need fatter wires. And it adds a little brightness to the drum. Okay, and then we'll add our snare weight to that. Really dials it in. A little bit of a kind of a hissy sound, so we'll find that. And you always want to tune up to the tension that you're looking for. Better. Good. And then another trick too, we can tighten this up a little bit. The whole thing. Bring it up into a little bit of a higher range. The higher that you tune a drum, the thinner it's going to sound to the microphones. So if you want a really fat, burly snare drum sound, you got to tune them really low, really, really low. So a trick to do that, if you like a little bit higher tension feel of a drum, so that sounds great. Good attack. We'll just drop these three right here. So I spin them all the way off, and I really just use the weight of the key to get them back into position with a little bit of an extra turn, not much. Just dropping those three puts us in a little lower range pretty quick. Microphone's really gonna love that. So that is a 6.5 brass Black Beauty for a good pop and rock range. Tune a 5, Copperphonic, We're going to tune this one up a little bit more for a jazz drum. So, same thing again, we'll drop all these. Alright, all the way down. And we're going to come back up. Nice even tension. Some of them I turn more than others. I'm getting a good feel of the just the kind of torque that I have on each one of these sets of plugs. Now for a jazz drum like this, we're going to tune it up a little higher, a little drier. Quite a bit higher pitched. Alright, so let's bump it up a little bit more because we want this thing to really be a nice bop sound. Alright, that's up. The bottom head, you want to push down on it. You want it to be a little spongy, not like a tabletop, but kind of spongy. Right in between tabletop and spongy. And then the snare wires, fairly loose there, so we'll give it a couple cranks. Snare wires, if you tune them up too tight, really choke your drum out. That's a little tight. So here's an example of too tight, really choked out kind of snare drum sound. Not a great response or anything, so we need to leave these kind of loosey-goosey. Let that drum breathe a little bit. And don't be afraid of that extra overtone ring. A lot of that you'll never really hear when you're actually playing the drum or in context of the music. You can always use a swing weight to get rid of that. So that's a nice 5x14 copper and a pretty slamming little jazz tune. Okay, the Super Power Rock. This is a 6.5x14 Tama Bell brass. This made a lot of records. And we're going to tune this one what we call through the floor to really capture the biggest, fattest, burliest snare drum sound we can get. All the way down. Okay, now we're going to bring it up. A lot fewer turns this time. A big difference that this drum has is the die-cast hoop. It's a far more rigid hoop. Offers a lot of bite and a lot of focus. Big part of the drum sound. Okay, so, and tuning the drums is also a lot of trial and error. You get it to a spot, and you gotta test it out. See how it sounds. That's down there. So we'll bump that up a little bit more. Not much though, really pretty small turns. A drum like this, you're gonna need a drummer that can hit it really hard too if you wanted that rock and roll sound. Good drummer goes a long ways. Okay, so we bump that up a little bit. A little choked out on the bottom. So, loosen those wires up. Bottom head's pretty tight. Let's give that a listen. Yeah, much better. Opened up quite a bit. Cool. And that drum's just gonna sound low, fat, burly. Great, 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 great drum sound. Maybe try bringing it up just a hair more. Let it scream a little harder. Yeah, that'd be good too. Kind of that fat sound. That was the bell brass. Okay, one more we'll do is an 8 maple drum. And this one we're gonna do through the floor again with the snare weight for that really kind of nice ballad type drum. We're gonna use a really deep drum. We're gonna just tune it low, man. Low, 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 low. I've noticed every recording session, the lower I can tune a drum, the better it sounds. You know, it's crazy. Like I said, when you tune them too high, they sound too thin. You miss the body, the fatness. Another reason with the 2 keys, you get nice even tension around the drum. It just helps quite a bit. Okay, so that low range there. Bumping on it a little bit. Once again, trial and error. Let's see where that lands. Nice and low and buzzy. Snare weight. That should give us our nice. Loosening the wires actually. The funny thing is, these may sound not great, or that's killer right there, to our naked ear, but the microphones love them down there. That's where they sing. So that's an 8x14 maple drum, tuned ridiculously low with a nice snare weight on it to capture a good ballad snare drum sound. Real slow note. Low, slow notes.